This is Kent from R&R with KJ, and today I will share with you my experiences in Cambodia while slow traveling the world. I began this 3-year adventure in January after retiring from the military. I chose Cambodia to start with because it was one of the few Southeast Asian countries that offered no quarantine requirements upon arrival. So it was easy to get through immigration and travel the entire country from the start. I spent 6 weeks in Cambodia, and today, while in the Philippines, I will share with you some of the beautiful places I visited. I really hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So, my first stop was in Siem Reap. It is Cambodia's second largest city and is known for the Angkor Wat complex. It's estimated that at least 1 million tourists visit Siem Reap annually. That was prior to the pandemic. Luckily for me, there were very few tourists during my stay, so it was nice to experience the temples without the crowds. The first 2 days I had a guide named Saya, and he showed me around the temples and the town. Saya was fantastic. He helped me find a 1-bedroom apartment for $300 a month, and he took me to the local market to purchase some household items for my new place. The apartment was clean, quiet, and within walking distance to restaurants, pub street, and shopping. I rented a scooter and a motorbike to move around, and I also purchased a gym membership at a nearby gym that was well equipped with a pool. I spent the first few days visiting Angkor Wat and its vast complex of temples. I really enjoyed the ride to and from the temples each day, and the landscape was so beautiful. The temples were simply amazing and was best seen in the early morning and early evening just before sunset. Siem Reap had a great walkable downtown with restaurants, bars, and shops, and my favorite restaurant, the Khmer Taste, served my favorite spring rolls and vegetable fried rice at $1 each and draft beers for just 50 cents. The nightlife was great and went into the early morning. Pub Street was filled with bars and street food vendors. The massage parlors were a great deal too. A 1-hour full body massage was just $6 to $8. Traveling 15 to 20 minutes from downtown, there were rice fields and fishing villages along the Mekong River. And I visited the largest waterfall in the area, Kulan Waterfall, which was a 1.5 to 2 hour drive from Siem Reap. But it was well worth the drive. From the drive up the mountain, you're treated to great views. At the top of the mountain, the road splits and you can visit the reclining Buddha temple, which was carved from a giant rock formation, and the temple was built around it. Quite amazing. Next stop was Phnom Penh. From Siem Reap, I traveled 6 hours by bus to Phnom Penh, the nation's capital. There, I linked up with a friend and his Cambodian wife. We spent several days traveling together. In Phnom Penh, I visited the Killing Fields Museum, the Royal Palace, the Wat Phnom Hill Temple, and also enjoyed the river walk and nightlife along the Mekong River. After a few days in Phnom Penh, we traveled 4 hours south to the city of Kampot. We stayed one night at Vidichi in a beautiful waterfront villa where the views were absolutely amazing. The next day, we traveled further south another 45 minutes to the small fishing village of Kep, located on the southern coast of Cambodia. Kep is known for its fresh fish markets and restaurants. We had a great dinner while enjoying a beautiful sunset. Next up was the Priya Vihar Temple. which is located 5 hours to the north near the Thai border. We stayed the night in the town of Srine, a small village close to the Priya Vihir temple. We stayed at a guest house in Srine that was just $10 a night. We then took a tuk-tuk the last 45 minutes to the temple entrance. We were one of the last to arrive that afternoon, and the motorbike ride up the mountain was steep and filled with great views. From the top, we could see the bordering countries of both Thailand and Laos. Unfortunately, the temple has sustained damage from fighting back in the 1990s, but the temple has since undergone restoration and was still well worth the visit. The next day, we traveled to Koh Kay, which was about another hour from Srine by private taxi. Our driver took us throughout the temple complex and then back to the Priya Vihir city center. What was unique about this temple was Koh Kay has 7 stories, all accessible by stairs, and the view from the top was a spectacular 360 degrees overlooking the jungle and the rest of the complex. From Priya Vihir, we traveled 2 hours east to Ratanakiri, a town near the border of Vietnam. Ratanakiri is known for its volcanic lake called Yik Lom. We stayed 3 nights in Ratanakiri at a family house in a local neighborhood for just $6 a night. The home was surrounded with trees and was very relaxing and comfortable. The owner, Pooh, and his wife were nice and welcoming. We rented a scooter and took the short 5-minute ride to Lake Lom. The day was sunny and beautiful, and the lake was so quiet and peaceful, we felt like we were the only ones there. The water was cool and comfortable, and we swam and enjoyed the scenery around the lake. The town of Ratanakiri has several other lakes surrounding it. We could drive a little ways in any direction and visit another lake. Just a short scooter ride outside of town were rolling hills with grape vineyards and rubber tree plantations. The town itself is small, quiet, and relaxing, and there's not much open after 8 p.m. All in all, Ratanakiri was a beautiful, slow-paced town with friendly people and several beautiful lakes nearby. The last city we visited was Battambang, the 3rd largest city in Cambodia. Battambang is known for its bamboo train ride, the Killing Caves, and the Bat Caves. We stayed 2 nights at a hostel for just $7 a night. We had a tuk-tuk driver as our guide for the 2 days. The first place we visited was the bamboo train station, where we rode the 30-minute ride through the countryside. Next, we visited the Killing Caves, where the Khmer Rouge had killed men, women, and children and threw their bodies down into the caves. On the short drive to the Bat Caves, we could see construction of a Buddha being carved out of stone in the side of the mountain. At the Bat Caves, we hiked a short ways up the mountain to the cave entrance. And while waiting for the bats, we enjoyed the beautiful sunset. And just as the sun set, we saw millions of bats flying out of the caves. It was spectacular. The bats leave the caves at sunset to feed in the jungle at night. And the next day, we visited a fishing village, a crocodile farm, and a business where we watched them make rice paper for spring rolls. Later, we visited the Eknam Temple, where we finished with a tour of the city center, where we saw several French colonial buildings and a beautiful river walk filled with shops and restaurants. Cambodia was a fantastic start to my slow-traveling international adventure. I really enjoyed the people, the food, its history and culture, and its natural beauty. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it awakens your adventurous spirit to travel the world.